Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will cover the three topics which come under pivot table, that is pivot table styles, pivot table options and pivot table layout. So in the last video, I discussed about the pivot table layout, that is report layout. So we discussed how to create a compact form and how to create an outline form in pivot table, right? So in today's video, I will discuss uh, uh, first. Let us discuss the pivot table styles option. So so here you can see I already created a pivot table. So using this example, I will show you how to apply pivot table styles. So once you are in the pivot table, here you can see a design tab is available. So if you click on that, here you can see the pivot table styles. So today we will be discussing about pivot table styles, pivot table style options and layout, right? So first let us discuss about pivot table styles. So if you want to, currently my pivot table is very simple and basic without any background colors, right? But if you want to apply any background color to your pivot table, then you can use this pivot table styles option. So for example, if you click on this drop down, you will have multiple design options, light, medium, and dark. Right? You can choose any of these options, whichever you like. So this is how the light option looks. So if you want to go with medium color, you can choose this one. So here you can see you can select the options as well, medium option, and you can go for the dark option as well. So this is how you can use the design options to make your pivot table look more stylish, right? So these are the three options, and we have so many colors here. But if you want to customize your pivot table based on your company logo or branding, then you can go and use the new pivot table style option. So here you can click on any elements you want to format, and you can apply the stylings here, right? Based on the branding colors you want to use, you can customize your pivot table here using this new style option, right? Now if you want to remove this color, then you can simply click here and click on clear here, right? So that way you can clear the color option. So for now, let us apply this one. So this is about using pivot table styles option. Now let us move to the second topic, which is pivot table options. So here I have taken one more example of the pivot table. So in the pivot table style options, first option is row header, right? So currently this row header is enabled. So here you can see the difference. If I disable, the row headers are also going. Now if I enable it, you can see uh, every row is having a new color, right? So every genre row is having a new color because I enabled this row header. So if I disable it, you can see there is no other colors here, only yellow is there. So if I enable it, only the rows that are in the genres are getting new colors, right? So that is the option which you can use in the pivot table to differentiate rows and also the genres. Now the second option is column headers. So if I click on this column headers, so if I click on this column headers, here you can see the column color is also getting changed here, right? So, so that is the option which you can use in the pivot table for column headers. So this is how you can use the column headers option. So based on the style which you have chosen here, then the changes will get applied. Suppose if you choose any other style, so suppose in case we are using this style, then you can apply this options here. Same for row headers as well, but the color will not be visible to you. So it's better to choose the dark theme option when you are applying, when you are choosing this row headers and column headers. Now if I click on this banded row, here you can see every alternate row is having a separate color, right? So here you can see every alternate row is getting filled with separate colors. So here you can see the definition in which even rows are formatted differently from odd rows. So every odd row is having a different color, right? So that is how you can use this banded rows. Now, now when it comes to banded columns, again we need to have the different style option, right? Because the the option is applied, but we are not able to see it because we are using the dark theme, right? So instead you can use any light theme. So here you can see the column rows, the lines are getting changed, right? So here you can observe these lines here. If I disable it, the lines are going away. So if I enable it, here you can see the lines are visible again, right? So that is how you can use this row headers style options, row headers, column headers. So if you want to make the pivot table more even stylish, then you can use this style options, right? So this was to apply background color, but these options are used to make your rows and columns more stylish, right? So that is the third option. Now now the third topic is layout. So in the last video we discussed about the report layout, right? So how we can create compact form and outline form. But in today's video, I will explain you about this blank rows, grand totals, and subtotals. So let us take this example. So coming to blank rows, so let us take this one only. So coming to the blank rows option, suppose let me expand it here. So suppose if you want to insert any blank rows here, or you already have few blank rows in the pivot table, then you can use this option, either to insert any blank row or to remove any blank rows. So let us see how that works. So if I want to insert a blank line after each item, then I can click here. So here you can see blank row has been inserted here, right? So that is the option which you can use here. So here and here after every line you can see there is a blank row, right? So if you want to remove the blank line, you can simply click on this remove blank line and the blank line should get removed, right? So that is how you can use this blank rows option. Now let us move to the third option, which is grand totals. So here you can see based on the pivot table I got the grand total here, right? So this is a grand total. Currently, the grand total is enabled. So let us see what options we have under grand total. So the first option is of the grand total for rows and columns. So if I click on this option, I won't see any grand total in my columns or in my rows. So if I click on this, here you can see grand total is disappeared, right? Now if I want to enable it, now let us, so that is the first option. Now the second option is on the grand total for rows and columns. So if I click on this, so here you can see we got the grand total for the rows and we got the grand total for the columns as well, because we applied the grand total for rows and columns. Now if you want to apply the grand total only for the rows, then you can click here, right? So here you can see the grand total has been applied. Now the final option is apply the grand total for columns only. So now you can see every column is having a grand total here, right? So that is how you can use that grand total option for your pivot table. So this is also very useful option. Now now let us look at the final option, which is subtotals. So let us see how subtotals work. So currently we are having three columns: genre, country, and sum of gross revenues. So apply this subtotals. So let us look at the second option: show all subtotals at bottom of group. So here you can see if I uh, uncheck this. So if I click on this, you can see I am getting subtotals of each and every genre. Right. So here you can see romance total. Again, if I click here, I can you can see sci-fi total, thriller total, western total, right? So for every genre, you are getting a a dedicated row with its total here, right? So that is this option. So all the subtotals will be visible at the bottom of each of the group here, right? So all the subtotals are visible at the bottom of the group. So that is the second option. Now let us look at the third option, show all subtotals at top of group. So this is bottom, this is top. So if I click on the top, you can see all the subtotals are visible at the top of the group here, right? So that is the difference here. So if I click this option, totals will be visible at the bottom, right? So this is also very useful option. Now in case if you don't want to show any subtotals, then you can use this option and subtotals will be removed, right? So that is also, so subtotals is also a very useful option, because if you want to calculate the gross revenue for only mystery genre, then this subtotal is very useful, right? Useful feature. So these are the few options which you can use for the pivot table. So that is the first is styling option. Then again, you have few more options under styles. So here you can apply row headers, column headers. So here you can see you can apply separate colors for your rows and columns, and you can also insert the blank rows or delete blank rows, or here you can also apply the grand total for your row, for your columns and rows as well. And finally, here you can, using the subtotals option, you can apply the subtotals for each of the genres here, right, individually. So these are the few options which we discussed today. So I hope you understood the concept here of the stylings and the layouts. So if you have any questions regarding this option, then please drop your comments. I will answer them. And if you like the video, then please consider subscribing to my channel so that I can make much more interesting videos on Excel. Thank you.